Welcome to the Mic is Hot with my pop DJ Thomas.
So greetings and welcome to the Mic is Hot, one of Atlanta's hottest sports podcasts in the state of Georgia. I'm your host, DJ Thomas, where we talk sports around the ATL. So tell a friend that the mic is hot right now. And without further ado, let me introduce you to my co-host for today's show. Well, folks, check. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. We in the house. It's Thursday night right here in the big city of Atlanta, Georgia, and the mic is hot. The mic is hot right now. Got Big Time on one end. Big Time, what's up?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mic is Hot tonight. We ready to get this thing popping, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out till the week comes.
And we got Dallas finest, the biggest Dallas fan in the state of Georgia. Frank, what's happening, Frank?
What's going on? Mike is blazing hot tonight. Blazing hot. How's everyone doing?
Shucks, man. I'm not used to having two people in the studio. I'm usually here by myself. But now we got Big Time, and we got Frank, and Dallas. Turn the music down a little bit. How about the music wasn't going down? That's me. It's my problem. Huh?
I'm excited.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We got one of the biggest ball games for both Atlanta and Dallas this weekend. This Sunday at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta-Falcons take on the Dallas Cowboys. That's why we got Big Frank over here. Frank gonna give his side of Dallas and tell us why Dallas is gonna win this ball game. We know, of course, both teams right now is tied at 4-5, and it's a must-win for both teams. Am I right, Big Frank?
Oh, this is a must-win.
So for further ado, I'm gonna let Frank start off Big Time and let him tell people a little bit about Dallas that we don't know. Something about Dallas that we don't know. Why do you think that Dallas is gonna come up in here in our new Superdome and beat the Falcons?
Well, first of all, the Atlanta's defense is suspect. The acquisition of Cooper is paying off. You know, it's freeing up Zeke Elliott, and right now Atlanta Falcons, I think they got the 27th ranked defense, and they're allowing over 100 yards to an average running back. So you put Zeke back there, he's looking at 150, and it's going to really put the pressure on their defense. Now, for Atlanta's defense, they are injury prone for their defense. I mean, that's why their defense is so dysfunctional this year. They've been hurt, you know.
Yeah, and we've been hurt as well. But I'm trying to figure out is what key component that Dallas is bringing in here that's going to upset us at home.
Baby, we're gonna control the clock.
Control the clock.
Dallas has the 6. What people are really sleeping on, Dallas has the 6th ranked defense. 6. They get around that ball, and they really gonna look. Julio Jones just got his first touchdown 2 weeks ago. First touchdown. Julio Jones, to me, is the best. I'll go on record saying that. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL.
I agree.
Close to him is Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
You know, I know we got a lot of Odell Beckham, but Odell Beckham's been rising on that one-handed catch from 4 years ago.
Right.
Besides that, but you know, Dallas defense is very, very good. They get after the quarterback, DeMarcus Ware, and those fellas. I mean, you know, and they're going to put pressure on Matt Ryan.
And they're going to have to. Now bringing up the point, Matt Ryan, Big Time, he's a big fan of Matt Ryan, as you know from last time we spoke on the mic.
I love Matt Ryan.
And Big Time, what is Matt Ryan going to bring to the table this Sunday that's going to make Dallas kneel? Talk to me.
Well, let me describe him clearly as MVP, Matt Ryan.
MVP.
He's
he wasn't MVP last week though, but you know.
Well, he wasn't last week, but it wasn't his reason, the fault that we lost. Matt Ryan is having an MVP year. obviously he's not recognized and talked about in that manner because the Falcons' record is what it is. I don't know a lot about Dallas. I don't keep up with them, but I do know they are probably one of the most overrated, overhyped teams in the league.
You heard that, Frank?
Largely because of Jerry Jones and all the drama and all the glamour and so forth and so on.
You do know Frank's sitting here listening to you, right?
I know that. I know that. I mean, this is the mic is hot.
What'd you say about Jerry Jones?
Yeah, Jerry Jones. Every other play, the cameras flip on Jerry Jones. See how he looks.
Last time I checked, Jerry Jones don't snap a ball. He don't pass a ball. We talking about between the tackles. We talking about on the field. Now, and just for the record,
I understand that. I understand that you're right, but it's always Jerry Jones when you talk about the Cowboys. It's always he overshadows his team. And I'm not saying that he's a factor in that sense. I just think Dallas is a lot more hype and a lot more, talk about what they should be. They are known as America's team. And
recognize that.
Yeah, every year.
Put some respect on that name.
since every year since Jimmy Johnson has been left, they've always talked about what they're going to do, and they haven't did much since. So, with regards to Sunday's game, Dallas could win the game. I don't know, like I said before, I don't know a lot about the team, but I have heard in my, listen to talk radio today and so forth this week, they have a very good defense. And they're a very good team. The record don't reflect that. But I think the key thing that Atlanta needs to do Sunday, and it's essentially what controls Dallas, you stop Ezekiel Elliott. You stop Ezekiel Elliott, that's Dallas. And I think the Falcons, you're right, that Atlanta does
what about
have
the quarterback,
a good defense.
Bigtime?
Well, yeah, Zach is good. Zach is much better than the last quarterback they had. And Zach has a lot of potential. But still, to me, Zach is the offense of the Cowboys go when Zeke Elliott go. He's their offense. Zach, he get the ball around. He can run. He can scramble. He's going to cause some problems for Atlanta on Sunday because he can be mobile. But I just think if the Falcons keep Ezekiel Elliott under control, they have a much, much, much better chance of beating Dallas. And here's another thing about Sunday's game. I think what happened to Atlanta last Sunday, while it was a devastating loss, and it was uncalled for the way they played, but I think that was an advantage for Atlanta coming into this game on Sunday. And let me say this last. Let me say this last, and I'll let you cut it. Here's another fault, another big problem for Dallas. Dallas is a very good team, but they got a guy on the sideline who is one of their biggest problems. He's their biggest problem because he don't know what to do. He don't make the right calls, and you don't know who you're going to get each week when you play down. Dallas is much better than a 4-5 team. I honestly believe that. But they just haven't played up to that level because this guy, among other things, just doesn't get the best out of them.
Frank, what'd you say?
Dallas is a 4-5 team because that's what their skill set is. Let's just go on the record. Before they got Amari Cooper, they had no wide receiver game, so it was a lot easy to zone in on Ezekiel Elliott. You're going to put 8 and 9 men in a box, and their best receiver at the time was Cole Beasley. So Dallas is really not overrated. Their record is like that because they did nothing in the offseason. I think, when we went on record before, when we had the block party, that's one of my concerns with Dallas was they did nothing in the offseason on their offense. And then you get rid of Des Bryant, and who do you have? Jason Witten's gone. So I really kind of disagree with you on they should be better. I'm kind of looking at them like happy that they are 4-5 because they don't have the skill set to even complement the quarterback that's there. Dak Prescott, his rookie year, he came in, he was the rookie of the year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But remember, that team was built for Tony Romo.
Right.
That offensive line was built. So he walked into a situation no other rookie quarterback besides Patrick Mahomes is experiencing right now with the talent that they have around him.
Right.
All that talent's gone. Offensive line is dismantled. There's 3 more guys, new guys on the offensive line. So I am surprised they're 4-5.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
We're getting Amari Cooper. That's the only thing that freed them up. And last week was a big game against the defending world champion. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, if you look at the whole scope of it, and just to go big time, there's no reason you should have lost to the Cleveland Browns. If you're going to introduce Matt Ryan as the MVP, Matt Ryan, he don't even need coaching strategy that should have been able to beat the Cleveland Browns. You got Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and there's no way they didn't put up enough points to beat the Cleveland Browns.
Well,
you're right. You're right, but that's a coach problem. I mean,
Eddie, I tend to disagree with you on that because it's not only a coaching problem; it's a players' problem. The players admitted they came to this game and they underestimated him. I mean, we know that, and
right.
After that big win against Washington, the Falcons thought they could just walk up there and walk over the Dogs, but it wasn't going to happen. And so what I'm looking at this week, the Falcons is sort of unpredictable. I mean, that. What's that saying? Unpredictable. What's that word I use to get mad around all the time? He's not consistent, inconsistent. I mean, we got a game coming this week. If we'd have won last week, I would be comfortable saying, yeah, we're going to win Sunday. But right now, I don't know. Because one thing I know about Matt Ryan as a quarterback, if they put pressure on Matt Ryan, we're going to have a long day. Now, if Matt Ryan have a day like what old boy did last week, he's going to throw all day long. So going to this ball game, I can't tell you who's going to win. I give the Falcons the home field advantage before it's outright saying, hey, the Falcons going to win. No, because it all depends on what
like
Dallas defense does to our offense.
I like the Falcons Sunday. I think it'll be close early, but I like the Falcons going away with these guys.
But what do you see that we don't see? I'm asking you. What do you think the Falcons going to do to dominate this ball game?
Let's look at the Falcons as a team. The Falcons has talent all the way around on the offense side of the ball. And we have proven that this year. One of our biggest weaknesses right now is that we really can't run the ball. There are many times since this guy went down, which is Freeman, we've missed him. And that it will be one of our faults if we don't do that well on Sunday. This will be a closer game. But Atlanta has enough receivers. They have a very good quarterback. They have, if you give him time, now I am concerned, as I heard today, that Dallas has a very good front four. They have a pretty good defense. But Atlanta, just like most teams, they are a better ball club or they're a different ball club at home. They shouldn't have won last week, but anytime you go on the road and any given Sunday, you can lose. Now, and they should not have lost. That's behind
true.
them.
That's the one we talk about.
I think that loss last week, Atlanta knew. They know for a fact after that game, they've said it themselves this week, they overlooked those guys they played Sunday.
Absolutely.
So now there's been a lot of talk about them this week. Ray Lewis mocked the Falcons defense on that play where the running back got 92 yards on one play. The Falcons defense, the Falcons pride has been put on the line, and I think they're going to run over Dallas in the end. I just don't feel good about Dallas. Dallas is not a problem for Atlanta. I just don't believe it's going to be a problem. I think you're going to see the best of the Falcons Sunday, and we will come out of this game 5-5. I just believe that. I believe we can throw the ball. Our defense, if we stop Ezekiel Elliott, if we put him in a position where he does not have a big day, we can control what they're going to do.
Hey, Big Time, let me ask you a question. I know your love for the Falcons is coming out right now, but what defense rank is Cleveland?
Excuse me?
What rank defense does Cleveland have?
The Browns.
I don't know what their defense rank, but here's the thing. Let me answer that question this way. When it doesn't, I would assume because they're one of the worst teams record-wise in the league, and they're a young ball club and many other things I can name, that their defense is ranked very, very low.
They're last. They're last in the NFL. So with you saying the talent that the Falcons have, I agree. But when you said Dallas is overrated, I might tend to say that maybe Atlanta Falcons is overrated if you talk about all the talent and they only put up 16 points.
Well, again, the team that you're playing and where they are, it means nothing if you don't come to play. And so when you look at it the way you're looking at it, yeah, you're right. That game is not indicative of what kind of team we have. That game was clearly a game.
Something has to be. Their record is 4-5. I admit it where our record was 4-5. You can't say on one end they're so talented, but their record is 4-5. They lost to. But
listen, here's what I'm saying. Why their record is 4-5. First and foremost, they are in the toughest division in the league. Although they've played only three times in their division. More importantly, they lost 3 of the best defensive players they have on that side of the ball. 2 of those 3 players they lost are Pro Bowlers. So for all season, their defense has been nothing. Now, that's not an excuse, but it's a factor.
Well, we wasn't dealing with their defense.
So that's why
you mentioned the wide receivers.
Each one of the game that they lost, or the 5 games lost, they could have won. I mean, they came within 2 to 3 points of winning 3 of those 5 games. So when you look at this team record-wise, their record is not reflective of what kind of team they have. You cannot use injuries as an excuse, but you cannot take that out of the equation with the fact and say they are what their record are because of the number of injuries they've had. If the Falcons had their full defense, I would guarantee you the Falcons would be at least 6-3 and maybe 7-2 right now.
Well, I doubt that. I doubt that. We are where we are, and we got injured. Other team got injured. Like I said before, before the season over, before the season over, the other team gonna have injuries as well.
But listen, there's no doubt we've been the most injured team.
You can't. We talked about that beginning of the season. There's going to be injuries throughout the season, so I mean, it's going to happen. We got guys coming back as well.
Anticipate. Let me ask Dallas. Let's look at Dallas. Have Dallas lost on one side of the ball, or on either side, or anywhere on their team where they lost 3 of their starters almost for the year?
I mean,
I'm asking him that.
It happened last year.
I'm talking about this year. What happened? They lost 3 to 4. The Falcons lost 4 of their starters.
And I gave the Falcons that. I mentioned that in my opening statement of how they dismantled on the defense. I'm just addressing with you their talent-wise on the offensive side, and they still sometimes struggle to put up points.
Yeah. And we have
no doubt, no doubt.
Against the Giants,
but I agree.
You had to win at the end of the game. The Giants.
Well, I agree with that. You can't. You're right. But the Falcons, right, that is a big problem. But you cannot take away from the fact that the Falcons are number 1 in third down conversions in the league. They still have the best receiver in the game. They still have a top 10 quarterback in the game. They still have a nice receiving core. They have put up big numbers this year. They have put up big numbers this year. Now, you said we don't know what's going to happen Sunday, but they are at home. They came off a tough loss last week. This team can come out Sunday, which I believe they will. It's not me talking Falcons talking. Dennis will tell you I've been the most critical of the Falcons all year.
Well, Eddie, let me ask you a question.
Despite the injuries that they have.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think both teams right now is pretty much equally talented coming to this game on Sunday?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
So is that the reason? Now, you think the Falcons are more talented? What you saying?
Yes, I believe the Falcons. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, besides this receiver that they just picked up, and my man just named a couple of times, they have nobody to throw the ball to. Right. And before they picked up this guy, they had Jason Witten. Jason Witten should have been retired 2 to 3 years ago. They have no. If they did not have a mobile quarterback who move around and do things that is very good in keeping this offense moving, they would not score as much as they have scored. They are better on offense because they got one of the best offensive lines in the game. But they don't have the guy to throw the ball to. The guy that they got rid of, you see what happened to him in New Orleans? That's why they got rid of him. He was done. And he just wasn't what he was. They don't have nobody to throw the ball to. The Falcons got so many receivers. I don't care how good your defense is. If you give Matt Ryan time, and the only way you can stop the Falcons
any quarterback. That's any quarterback if you give a quarterback time.
But not with a number of receivers. We got 6 to 7 targets that we can throw the ball to. And Matt Ryan this year has been more mobile. Matt Ryan is a pocket quarterback.
Let's just be clear. In the NFL, if you give 25 teams quarterback enough time to get rid of that ball, they're always going to be successful. I mean, that's why you rush the quarterback. That's why you blitz and you don't give him the time to do that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Matt Ryan. I always tell Atlanta, if you're not going to get Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to get Tom Brady. So if you go throughout the league, who else are you going to get? Who else can you get on your team that's that?
Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell's not that guy, man.
Russell's a mobile quarterback. We got well, I'm watching the game while I'm talking, I guess. But Matt Ryan, I'm not going to slam Matt Ryan tonight, but Matt Ryan is inconsistent. And right now, what I see,
he has not been
Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers,
you can squash that
Drew Brees, exactly.
As
many receivers that he has to throw the ball to. I noticed a couple weeks ago in Washington that you got to change. The plays got to change. I'm not, like I said before, I wasn't blaming that loss all on Matt Ryan. I blame a lot of it on the offensive coordinator because you got to have the right play selection. And if your quarterback's getting blitzed, you got to start throwing short passes. You got to start throwing more screen passes or whatever.
Right.
Drew Brees get the same thing. He get the same thing. Matt Ryan not the only one to getting pressure on him. So I'm saying between the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, they got to come up with some plays and say, no, we playing against a team that's got a good pass rush. We know you can't sit in the pocket. I'm sorry, you can't sit in the pocket because it's not going to work. You know, and I'm not blaming the running game because even though we still got Coleman. Coleman's still a great running back. Absolutely. Coleman wasn't started at one point in time.
In 4 games this year with the Falcons, their defense allowed an average of almost 40 points. I don't care how good your offense is, you cannot win games when your defense is allowing almost 40 points. And that is because Atlanta have lost a lot of their players. This team went from
just in defense,
they went from number 8 to almost number 28.
Big time. Just stay right there real quick. And you know why the team scored a lot of points? Because Atlanta came on the offensive side and did not move the ball. They left it. They allowed the field position to change in many other games. So if your defense,
but you got to balance it out.
That's what I'm saying. If your defense, if you're struggling on defense,
but it's just not because you don't move the ball. If your defense, when you look at ball control, this is why I keep putting the emphasis on Sunday's game. That Atlanta will lose this game if we can't stop this guy, that running back. When you run the ball, you control the clock. And you control the clock if that other team defense ain't stopping you. You keep saying if Atlanta, no team don't care how good offensive you are. Atlanta, as good as their offense is with the talent they have,
that's not true.
You cannot be successful going in 3 and out.
That's not true. Peyton Manning won a lot of games with a suspect defense. He won a lot of games because
who was that?
Peyton Manning. They won a lot of games with a suspect defense. Drew Brees just got a defense.
Yep, just got a defense.
The Saints got a defense to support Drew Brees. What I'm saying is you cannot keep your defense on the line, and that's the problem that the Falcons have because they don't move the ball enough, and they put their defense in, and you know when they're struggling, they put them right back on the field.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And that's something we talked about before. Big time. That's something we talked about before. What he's saying is that's something we talked about before. Remember, I told you you can't go out there and you can't go 3 and out and put your defense back on the field. One thing that's happened by the fourth quarter, you wearing your defense down.
Exactly.
And you're giving the other team the advantage.
And it's not necessarily that the Falcons got to score.
That is football 1-on-1. We know that.
Yeah. It's not necessarily you got to score a touchdown, but keep the other defense on the field, allow your defense to rest, get a 7-yard, 10-play drive, kick a field goal, and then they're not even doing that. They're 3 and out, And then you putting that.
Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, but when you use a measurement of Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, these are the stellars of the league. It's really hard to use these guys as an example of what every team is should be doing. Yeah, the team should do that, but it simply doesn't do it. I don't care how much talent Atlanta has if they got a slightly not Matt Ryan's good as he is.
Big
He's
time.
not as good as those quarterbacks.
You can't change.
And here's what I'm.
You talked about the talent of them, so we're just coming back at what you said. You mentioned how talented they
I'm
are.
saying, but you give an example. But what I'm saying is not just every team. Don't care how good your offense is. You're not gonna move the ball every time you go out there. You got to give the other team defense some credit.
If I have Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Sanu, Coleman, I plan to move that ball, and Coop. I plan to move that ball.
Let me ask you something.
I do believe. I understand that, but right, but you just can't. You're right. You're right. You should, but you cannot take away. I say this without a doubt, and I believe it without a doubt, and we won't know it. If Atlanta did not have the number of injuries on the defense side of the ball, you would see a much different ball club. Guys, we're talking 2 years ago. Atlanta, the same team that you all are talking about, were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that was one less. Your offensive coordinator is gone. That's the biggest problem.
But this year, our offense ranked among high among the offense teams of the league. Like I just told you, we're the number one team on third down conversion. So right there, that defies what you all are saying. If we get the most third down, we're keeping the ball on the field is more than what you're saying. We're the number one in third down conversions. And I'm just telling you, you look at our score of the game that we won, the only two teams that really beat us this year, literally out of the 9 games that we played, the only two teams that beat us this year were the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns.
You're saying one thing. You're saying two different things. You contradict yourself in your conversation.
We beat ourselves.
This
team is much better, guys. This team is much better.
You contradict yourself in a couple ways. You're saying that we only played really one team that really gave us a hard time. I understand that. New Orleans Saints, would you agree that we probably more talented wise for us players on the field, especially on the offense, as New Orleans Saints? I mean, we got Drew Brees. They got Drew Brees. We got Matt Ryan. Well, only person. Well, what do they have that we don't have? A running back?
They have Kamari.
Kamari playing on the field. We got Julio Jones. We got Julio Jones. They don't have Julio Jones.
Let me tell you, when you take, you can't single out guys and use that as a measuring stick to say this is what this team ought to be. You cannot rule out the fact that when you got Sean Payton on the sideline, when you got one of the best quarterbacks that ever played a game in Drew Brees, you got Thomas over there, who's an underrated receiver. When you got Kamara, you got Ingram. That team is totally superior.
The Saints come to play every ball game, man. That's the difference. The Saints they come to play.
Is totally superior. That team is totally superior to Atlanta on the offense side of the ball. Ain't no comparison. There is no comparison to Atlanta and the New Orleans Saints offensively.
I disagree. The only players that kind of slated more is probably Kamara and Drew Brees over what you got. Their wide receiver or tight ends are definitely not as good as Atlanta's.
Listen, I understand that. Again, when you take individual players and single them out and match them up against individual players, that's not the only parameter you can use. When you take an offensive coordinator who's been with a quarterback for the last 15 years, they got one of the most elite offensive schemes in the game. Now you can take average guys and place in there, and they're gonna be much better. If you take away looking at Atlanta, I'm not making excuses. This offensive coordinator we got 2 years in the NFL. Last year wasn't even any good. We just still learning. I can name a lot of other factors where you cannot compare that. When people look at Tom Brady and New England say, how do they do it? There's a lot of things going to just Tom Brady. It's not just a coincidence that Tom Brady can plug in average receivers and they still be the same way. The New Orleans Saints will be the same way offensively if they had average receivers in there.
If
that guy was able to play on that ball club, they would have been even much better.
I disagree with you. Better. I disagree with you. There's a difference. Saints do not make the playoffs every year, or the NFL championship game, or Super Bowl. So that's not true with what you're saying with the Saints. The Patriots is about.
But they don't make it. They don't make that.
Let me finish real quick. The Patriots is just about a one-off on anybody else because they're for the last 12, 13 years, they've been in Super Bowl, AFC Championship games.
The only reason.
And they have been dominating. So that's the only reason why Tom Brady sticks out over everybody else. Drew Brees has struggled. Their defense was
when has he struggled?
As a team.
When has he struggled?
As a team. They
right,
have struggled.
as a team, but you said the opposite word, as a team. Here's what they have struggled over the last 10 years on the offense side of the ball. As a team, even when they won the Super Bowl, their defense was the weakest link. Their defense now has improved much better than it has been in a long time. This team offensively has been good for the longest because the scheme that this guy on the sideline, Drew Brees, this guy, I said, and Dennis recalled us looking at a clip where they were showing how Drew Brees and Sean Payne mastermind the offense. It is so complex. It is hard. This dude is one of the most accurate passers that ever played the game. He don't miss nobody, man. And I'm not giving him all the props like I like him, but you cannot compare them to Atlanta because Atlanta got all these talented guys on the offense side of the ball. I still say their record would be much better than it is if they did not have the number of injuries that they have had. And regardless of all that I said, I think Atlanta will win Sunday. I think they will win Sunday without a doubt.
And I do respect that. The only thing I'm talking about is I'm making basic comments back to what you said. So don't get me wrong. I think, before I said, I like Matt Ryan. He definitely, to me, is a top 10 quarterback. So, and I was really talking to, DB over here because you got a lot of Atlanta fans that say Matt Ryan needs to go. And my question back to you is, if you get rid of Matt Ryan, who are you going to get?
Well, you preaching to the choir. You ain't preaching to the choir. I've been saying this for 10 years. And I understand the dislike that a lot of fans have. Why? Because Matt Ryan and that offense have given them a lot of reason to feel the way they feel. But I tell these same fans, I argue for this man all the time, and they just know I do this, is who you going to place them with. When you look at the toughness, when you look at the accuracy, when you look at a lot of other factors, this man is a very good quarterback. Is he in the category of a Drew Brees, a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers? He is not. He is not in that category. But can he take this team to the Super Bowl and win it? Yes. I even believe right now with more talent around this kid from Dallas, he can do it. He can move the ball. He's accurate. He has toughness. He has a lot of factors that is much better than Romo. Romo has been the downfall of the Cowboys for a long time.
Dak Prescott is not accurate. That's one of the biggest issues they have with him. He's definitely not accurate.
Well, you know them better, so I can't argue that. I'm just seeing what I see of him. When I compare him to this kid they had before, Romo will always get injured, what I saw.
Right, and that's about the only glitch.
In those crucial times of the game, Romo's some kind of way going to make a mistake. He would always make that mistake somewhere.
I mean, that's about the only glitch that you had with Romo is he, the best ability is availability. He was never available. But if we can just go back real quick, you was talking about the Saints, and they've always been successful. Let's go back over the last few years from 2013.
I said, let's specify. I said offensively. I'll have as a team, they haven't been that great. But on the offensive side of the ball, the offense will always their strength. The offense, even if they had a number of injuries right now on the defense side of the ball that Atlanta has had, I still think that they would have gotten two or three more games.
So since you walked down that road, let me continue on. You can't have it both ways. You can't have Atlanta being so offensively gifted and then say because of their defense why they're not winning, but you can say give that to the Saints. That's basically what you're saying. The Saints is okay to be that way. They're offensively gifted, but the reason why they wasn't successful is because their defense.
Let me clarify. Atlanta is very good. Let me take away the term you just used, offensive gifted. One of the big problems that the Atlanta Falcons have had this year, a lot of people don't know this and don't look at it. We cannot run the ball real well. Our running back, Freeman, has not been the same since the Super Bowl. That means all of last year he wasn't there. He hasn't played but 2 games this year. Carried the ball in the first game that we played 6 times.
Yeah, but that's not either here or there. If you look at the Saints,
what's a factor?
Wait, let me finish. Is it supposed to be the running back or the offensive line? So which is the problem? Because it's the same offensive line. And when Devontae Freeman had his best season, the Super Bowl 2 years ago, Coleman's season was excellent too. So it was a 1-2 punch they got credit for. So Coleman closed your games out for you. Devontae Freeman.
Coleman is average, man.
Oh
He's
God.
average.
Big time.
I'm telling you, Coleman is not. Listen, I know, just like you know, and you can have your opinion, and I'm not knocking that, but I know the Atlanta Falcons, and I study them and I look at them. I know every aspect of them. Coleman is not the same running back as Freeman. We miss Freeman. This rookie that we have in there now, he's a shell of what we need. We miss Freeman. We cannot run the ball consistently. And if we don't run the ball well Sunday, I would say, even though I still believe we can win, but if we don't run the ball well Sunday, our chance of losing increases significantly. We cannot run the ball. If you can't run the ball, you can't throw the ball because the run set the pass up. We have a nice play action.
Now listen. I've been listening to you guys for a minute talk, so I'm gonna jump in here right quick. We might not have the best running game. We do have a running game. I give Freeman credit, and also the other guy, I can't think of his name right now. We can run the ball, but right now our pass game succeeds probably any team in the NFL. We got the best, probably one of the best passing duos: Julio, Ridley, Sanu, Hooper. I mean, other team, if New Orleans had what we had, they probably be undefeated right now. So I'm not making excuses saying we're not running the ball game. Some team. When we had the year that we went to the Super Bowl, we had a running game, two dual running back. We had 2 good receivers. This year, we only we got an injury on as a running back. We don't know what he would have done coming back this year, but we still got a great passing game, and it hadn't stopped some other teams. So I'm not making. You can't make excuses for that, Eddie. You can't make excuses.
I don't care how good your passing game is. If you can't either pass, the run set the pass. Set up the pass.
We are running the ball. We just got to call the right plays. They got to call the right plays.
The Patriots won 3 Super Bowls with no run game.
You cannot.
Wait. You can't say can't.
That's like telling me.
No. You said this. You said it sets up for something.
You know that example you give me about the Patriots. Can I say this? That's the same example. People say, okay, well, you want to be a billionaire? You look at Oprah Winfrey. You can't use Oprah Winfrey as the reason I should be a billionaire. It gets too big of an order. You can't use it. You can't use these guys to say this is how teams ought to do. They are special. That team is special. Guess what, guys? I believe that the New England Patriots are going to be in the Super Bowl again. Ladies and gentlemen, the New England Patriots are going to be in Atlanta. More than likely. How do they do it? You can't use them as an example. Atlanta just does not. In the game, Atlanta have had 2 games this year where they got over 100 yards. Those are the only 2 games they really control.
I believe New Orleans Saints going to be in the Super Bowl this year. So what do you got to say about that?
Excuse me?
I believe the Saints going to be in the Super Bowl this year. And we just as good as the Saints, I believe. I do believe.
D, we're not as good as the Saints, man. Come on, D, man, you dreaming, man. Come on, bro.
So what you're saying is we don't have a chance of beating the Saints on Thanksgiving Day.
No, we got a chance, but the chance is very slim. D, you know we talk about this all the time. The New Orleans Saints are on a roll right now. They are playing the best ball in the NFL, and unless somebody
I'm gonna say this to you and Frank sitting right here. This is the Falcons and the Saints game is a rival game, and every time they play, I've seen these guys for years, and we thought the Falcons one year that they were going to run over the Saints. The Saints came over here and beat us, and the Falcons can win this ball game if they go in there with the right attitude. With the opposite attitude they had when they went to Cleveland,
Okay.
I think the Falcons can win.
Okay.
I believe in Julio.
So it's 2 weeks away. All right. So the Saints right now are 8-1. Okay, let's say by that 9-1. Okay, so they 9-2. Wow. What's the difference? It's still not going to make a difference. Right now, we barely trying to make the playoffs. Whoever lose that game this game Sunday between Atlanta and the Cowboys, guess what, guys? You don't make it. You don't have a chance anymore.
Well, we talked about that earlier today. I wouldn't agree with that because you were saying there's a lot of teams out there 5-4 that has a low season. So we don't know what's going to happen throughout the season. I mean, every year around the 1st of December, they start throwing that chart up saying if this team does that and that team does this, we have a chance.
Guys,
a slim chance, but we have a chance.
Guys, guess what? This is another reason why Atlanta going to win this game Sunday. Whoever loses this game Sunday, your playoff hopes is virtually over. I'm sorry. I just don't see it's going to go any better because the NFC is all jammed up. Dallas is not going to win their division. Atlanta is not going to win their division. Right now, guess what? The Dallas Cowboys have a better chance to make the playoff than Atlanta does because Dallas, right now, that division still, to me, is up. Well, Washington more than likely to win that division, but I don't think Washington's a serial 6-3 team. I just don't think they are. Atlanta got to deal with New Orleans and Carolina, and we got to play both of these guys.
New Orleans got to deal with Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa's always got New Orleans numbers. So don't get me wrong. Hold on. Since you said that, Tampa and Carolina, they got to play them as well. Guess what? They can get surprised just like we can. So you're calling out things that could change between now and then. I think the last time.
Could you tell this man how much I hate the New Orleans Saints? Well, and don't get it that I'm trying to give them prop. But the writing is on the wall, man. This team is pretty dang on good this year.
Look.
And I hope to God, let me say this last and I'll shut up. I pray every night that the Saints don't get in the Super Bowl. I don't know if I can stay in Atlanta. Them suckers come to Atlanta.
It doesn't matter if the Dallas wins this game or Atlanta wins this game. They're going to do nothing in the playoffs against the
Rams,
the Saints. They're just too good. I mean,
the Panthers, even Philly is not out of it. That's why Dallas.
I still think the Panthers, they can be beat. They can be beat. I mean,
you're right. Because so go is Cam. So go that team. It's a one man's team.
They're struggling to find their identity again. But the Saints and the Rams, they're in a whole different class. And if you remember before, I mentioned to you about the Rams.
Right.
And this was before I seen one snap. On paper, I like what they did in the offseason, and they're very good. But what the Saints has done and what they're doing is just flat out like unremarkable. It's like, but you see the difference, and like I said earlier, is this is the first time they've had, well, even maybe the second time they had a defense.
Yeah, and that's it. There you go. And here's another thing: what makes them so dynamic?
Drew Brees.
They have been able to run the ball, but guess what? Most of their offense has been centered around over the last 5 to 7 years around throwing the ball. Drew Brees. Guess what, guys? They have right now one of the best running backs in the game. When they picked this kid up 2 years ago out of Atlanta, this kid is dynamic in Kamari. That's why they bought in Adrian Peterson last year. They want to take the pressure off Drew Brees throwing the ball so much because he's getting older. After game 2, the blow up between Sean Payton and Peterson, they shipped him out, and here comes Kamari. And he has never – they have been offensive superior ever since. Now they have a defense.
Now, let me ask you a question since you said that. Just to think before you answer. Do you think Kamari's having the success because he's that good, or he's really having the success because Drew Brees is that good? Do you think Drew Brees kind of sets him up because, you can't put 8 men in a box because Drew Brees will light you up?
Yeah, here's what I believe to answer that question. I believe the answer is the same for both. He is that good, and it's because of Drew Brees setting him up. Why he's that good? He can run the ball better than anybody thought when he came out of Atlanta. He's a steal in the draft. And here's how he's better with Drew Brees. On the short passes the underneath dunk passes. He's just dynamic. He just does it, and it's just amazing what he can do with his speed and his ability to get around guys. He is just awesome. The only thing that I think can stop him if he get hurt, but the way he's playing and the way this offense is moving and the way things are going, this team can win the Super Bowl, man. This team really can do that right now. I hope the Rams can beat them or somebody, steal the show from them.
Well,
but
you know what?
they get home,
you know what? I think that their winning streak is going to come to the end right here pretty soon, because the more you win, the pressure kind of builds that you it's a lot of more pressure on you when you're winning and you haven't lost a game. But, week 14, they got to go to Tampa. And week 15, they play on Monday night against the Panthers. They're going to lose one of those ball games, if not both. I promise you.
Yeah,
the Saints are
you're right.
The Saints are going to lose one ball game.
Here.
Don't get me wrong, and y'all can say what you want to say. I'm saying it right here. I'm saying it right here on the mic. I'm saying it right here on the mic.
Atlanta, save this podcast right now.
It's going to be on. It's going to be online, and I'm going to remind you guys to go back and listen to it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick,
right?
They're not going to lose that game. Cam,
to who you talking about? Tampa?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Tampa's always had New Orleans number. Tampa's always had New Orleans number. For some reason, they always get whooped by. They got beat by Tampa the first game of the season. Tampa beat them the first game of the season, and that was in New Orleans. Now they got to go to Tampa. I'm not saying they're gonna lose, but hey, look. Hey,
yeah, you did.
All right.
You did say they gonna lose.
I know what I'm saying. No, I'm saying that I'm not counting Tampa out over beat New Orleans again at home. I'm not counting them out. It just depends on what kind of day Tampa
lose. This team is already 8-1.
Tampa last week got 501 yards of offense and scored 3 points. Tampa has issues.
Yes.
Tampa has issues right now.
Drew
Brees lit them up for 51 points like without blinking.
Yes. I'm telling you, I keep highlighting.
I'm talking about who they played last week.
Oh yeah.
But
these are the division games I'm talking about. I'm talking about Atlanta.
I'm not trying to hate on them, but I'm just giving it. This team, I don't like the Saints, but this team is superior to everybody right now.
You keep saying that, big time. Okay, all right. I'm gonna let you and Frank ride on this, but I guarantee you.
I don't know. I'm not coming to your house to drink no Kool-Aid because you got some Falcons Kool-Aid that just have you thinking totally different. Because I'm realistic. I don't care what the Falcons think they're gonna do. Look at the Saints, man. Look at the Rams. It's not just their team is their mentality is different.
Yeah,
Drew Brees,
I'm telling you.
Drew Brees has them thinking. That's what's listening with Matt Ryan. If you really want to know, he has no leadership skill. He don't have that skill set to where it's like. Do y'all see who we're playing right now?
What did you say, big time? Say it loud. Say it loud.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I'll be the first to say that.
He doesn't have that mentality to be like, y'all know who we're playing right now? Sanu,
yes.
I don't care what the hell the coaching staff is saying right now. It's the third quarter. They keep running a cover two. Julio, run it out. Sanu, you run a flat. I'm going to have you because they're going to sit in the zone.
Exactly.
Go in motion. They're playing man. Wink at, Julio Jones is one-on-one. You develop matchups. At one point in time, you can't tell me Tom Brady at third quarter or after halftime saying, look, this is how they're playing us. This is what's going on. So the issue, I'm talking about pure talent and pure ability. I love Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
But his leadership skills
he's just not there.
As a captain.
I got his jersey on right now. The man is not there. He's not in the class for those quarterbacks. He's just not, guys. He's just not.
Big time. Frank said you need to take that jersey out, man.
I keep his jersey on all the time. And Dennis will tell you, this ain't no joke what I'm talking about. I defend this guy all the time, every time. I'll argue with the president over this guy. I still believe that he's the best thing that Atlanta has. He will go down in history as being one of the best Falcons ever. I guarantee you.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think he's more talented than Tony Romo?
Do I need to answer that?
Hey, absolutely, because you kind of disrespected Tony Romo saying that Dak
He's
Prescott.
He's 2 times better than Tony Romo. Guess what? Zach Prescott is better than Tony Romo. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. Tony Romo just wasn't there. Tony Romo stayed there as long as he did because he had some talent, and he was Jerry Jones' boy. Jerry Jones loved that guy. He was that team representation. When the era of Jimmy Johnson and Michael Irvin and those group left, that team needed an identity. That team identity, main identity, has always been, to their fault, has been Jerry Jones. But since that talented squad left, they needed a guy that can represent that team on and off the field, and it was Tony Romo. They thought it was T.O., but T.O. was too controversial. T.O. was talented. Tony Romo, talent to me, was average. Matt Ryan is 2 times better than Tony Romo. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Matt Ryan fan. I don't judge a player just by what he does in games here and there. I judge him by what he does over the life of his career. Matt Ryan has been a stud for the Falcons for the last 11 years. He's been there, and I think he'll go down in history as being a guy that has always played, lack of injuries. He's just a very good guy. If he's as talented as he could be or should be, or will you put him in the ranks of top 5, top 7 quarterbacks in the game? No, he isn't. But he has been a number 1 top 10 quarterback since he came from behind the center for the Atlanta Falcons.
Victor, let me help you out. You can't just talk to me and your feelings. You didn't quote no numbers. What is his QBR rating? What is his touchdown and interception ratings? What deems him? How can you say that he's better than Tony Romo?
I can throw you plenty numbers out.
I'm waiting.
Oh, you want me to throw you numbers out? I don't want this show to be about Matt Ryan. I want this show to be about what's going to happen.
This show is about what's blazing hot right now. You keep walking out in the fire and not wanting to get burnt. I'm going to make sure you get burnt because you walking out in the fire saying stuff, and I just wanted you to back it up. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me say this very clearly just so you will know what I'm talking about. You mentioned that Dez Bryant is not the same Dez Bryant as before, okay? I think a lot of times you listen too much to sports radio, and I look at sports. I'm a Cowboys fan because that's how I grew up. I look at every single game. If I miss it, because I can't look at every single game, I have the football package. So I look at every game, and I record the ones I want to see. Let me tell you something, and you will really understand what happened to Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant and Tony Romo was played together for so long, and you know what kind of relationship you built up together. Dez Bryant never was that quick. So Dez Bryant, Tony Romo would develop that back shoulder pass. That's what had people separation with, because they didn't know if they was going to throw the pass. Dez Bryant give him a fake. That's how he got separation. Dak Prescott, he's a rookie. He can't. That's not an easy pass. There's only a few people in the league that can throw that back shoulder pass. So that's what happened to Dez Bryant's career with the Dallas Cowboys, because that's what him and Romo developed over the years. The line that was built, if you really remember, Tony Romo's last injury was against the Falcons. 2 years before we got that offensive line, he came unblocked. Defense came unblocked, crunched his back. That was it. The reason why Dak Prescott had so much success is because you walk into a line that was built for Tony Romo. Come on, you said it. They don't have the offensive line they had 2 years ago. It's just not the same line. They lost 2 players and 1 guy retired. So when Dak Prescott walks into his career, he had an offensive line that was stud. Then you pick up a running back that was stud. In a battle for, when was the battle ever, Rookie of the Year, 2 players on the same team? That's a rarity.
Right.
That's a rarity, but that's what they lost. So Dallas never had great wide receivers besides Dez Bryant. And he wasn't the number one. He's not a Julio Jones. He's not even in that echelon.
Right.
So you keep saying what Tony Romo had. What did Tony Romo really have? He was more mouth than he was anything else. He had Jason Witten that played for 55 years.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, you saying what Matt Ryan had, and throw out the numbers, because Tony Romo smashed all numbers that any Cowboys has ever put up. Crushed them.
Matt Ryan is the first quarterback in the first 4 years of his career that had 10,000 or 4,000 more yards consistently. Consistent 4,000 yards every year for 4 years straight. Only guy in the history of football that has done that.
Been throwing 5,000 yards almost every season.
Well, what I'm talking about, I said the first one in the first 4 consistent years. I'm not saying over his whole career or compared to any one career. No one has gotten quicker to 4,000 yards in 4 consecutive years in the first time they came into the game than Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I would say this for the Falcons. Every year since Matt Ryan's been here, he's always had good receivers. I mean, we had Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, several good receivers. So Matt Ryan's always had somebody to throw the ball to. And a lot of time Matt Ryan throws.
That's not a definitive way to judge a guy. His good receivers, his good receivers, yeah, they are, but the ball got to still come to them. See, when you look at Dez Bryant, as he was just saying, Romo numbers should have been better than what they were with Dez Bryant. Well, I argue.
Okay.
Dez
So I'm asking
Dez Bryant wasn't as good as people thought he was, and he was more of a more malcontent about what he wasn't getting.
Okay, so far Tony Romo's already retired. That means he's played more games than Matt Ryan. His quarterback rating for his career is 97.1. You know what Matt Ryan's is? 94.
Make a point there.
I can name plenty of numbers. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but what I'm simply saying is this.
Everything we mentioned, you counteracted to where that's not. His receivers are definitely better than what he had.
Say that again. I understand it, but when you look at, I know there's a lot of numbers. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I know this. Matt Ryan has been in the top 10 quarterbacks since he's been in the game. Romo wasn't in the top 10 the whole time he was there.
I like Matt Ryan, but that's not because he's so exceptional. That's because there's just not a lot of good quarterbacks.
Now it's 30 teams in the league. Yeah. So he got to be. You can't judge his quality of play based on how many quarterbacks aren't very good. If he's better than these quarterbacks, he's better than because he's better. He's a better quarterback. If you say he's top 10, that's because there's not a lot. That's across the board. I'm not disrespecting him. There's just not a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. I still think he's a great. You're bringing his value down. That's a flawed argument. You bringing his value down based on the quarterbacks in the game. No, I'm bringing his value where it is because of what the numbers he's put up and what he's done as a quarterback.
You haven't quoted any numbers, so I don't know what you're talking about with numbers.
I could give you, I don't have the specific numbers, and it doesn't mean his numbers are great. Keep in mind, I'm not saying he's one of these great quarterbacks. He's good for Atlanta, and he has made Atlanta, since he was put behind center, he has made Atlanta be what they are, even though they haven't been that good. I keep reminding people just 2 years ago they were in the Super Bowl, and they lost in a horrible way. He's been better than Michael Vick has been.
Big time.
And Michael Vick was here 13 years.
This is all good. Give me 60 seconds. Let me go through some teams for you. Baltimore.
Shut up.
He's been better than Michael Vick.
No, I'm saying
most definitely. And when you look at the receiver, you say, well, he's had good receivers.
Hey, Big time. Let him read the stats. So he got stats for you.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying Matt Ryan's not good. You're taking it the wrong way. But understanding there's been a year.
I can't hear it. I can't hear what he's saying. I can't hear what he's saying. But my whole point is this: I understand you using the argument to present, to deflate my argument. But my thing is, the argument should not be about Matt Ryan. I thought we were talking about the game and talking about what's going to happen Sunday. Now we compare one quarterback over another. Guys, Matt Ryan is not in the league of the greatest quarterbacks in there. Matt Ryan, in a lot of respect, is an average quarterback. But I put Matt Ryan in a category that he is because he is good for Atlanta. He's going to help Atlanta win Sunday. And he probably won't help Atlanta get to the playoffs, and it won't be because of his play. It's because we as a team do not have a full squad. We are hurting on the defense side of the ball.
Big time. You're changing the narrative. I didn't go down this street. You did. So I'm good if we want to get back to the game. That's fine. But you can't get a full understanding of why I said what I said without letting me explain why I said it.
But we both agree.
You said I'm devaluing him. When you put him top 10, it's only because you got to just go through the league and look at what's out there.
You don't think he's a top 10 quarterback?
Yes, but how many good quarterbacks are there? If he never has to compete, if there's not a fluctuation of good quarterbacks coming in, and he never has to compete.
Let me give you my top 7, and I still put him at 8 or 9. You got Drew Brees right now this year. You got Drew Brees, you got Aaron Rodgers, you got Tom Brady, you got Russell Wilson, you have I'm trying to think that this guy from Philly, which based on last, he's not having a good year right now.
Carson Wentz.
You got Carson Wentz. I won't even put Cam because Cam is too emotional. I can't put Cam. I'm at 5 now. You give that quarterback. When you give the quarterback, I give that team based on their record. I don't know their quarterback. The L.A. Rams. That's number 6. I put him there. All right. I'm talking about this year. We're not going to look at the record from before, but this year, okay. Who else? You telling me Matt Ryan can't be number 7?
I never said that.
Record.
I never said that.
Even though that team record, I'm talking about the individual play, individual number.
But you got to give me the 60 seconds that I'm asking you for. Okay? So if you go through it, Baltimore, Jacksonville, Chicago, Minnesota, Tennessee, you got Dallas, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, great quarterback. Houston, yeah. Green Bay, great quarterback. Seattle, great quarterback. The Chargers, Phillip Rivers, great quarterback. Carolina, yeah, you can mention Kim. You could put him on a bubble or not. Still good quarterback. Philadelphia, who you mentioned, was Carson Wentz. Washington, no. Detroit, he's hit or miss. Okay. Arizona, no. Denver, no. New York, Eli's done. Indy, Luck, you don't know because he's just back from injury. New Orleans, of course, Drew Brees, yeah. San Francisco, no. The Rams, you mentioned him. This is the first year. Second year, he's having an okay season. If you want to put him up there, okay. Oakland, Derek Carr, you don't know what type of quarterback he is. Tampa Bay, they don't even have a starting quarterback. New York Jets, they don't have a starting quarterback. So you got Atlanta, New England, Miami, Tannehill, he's whack. Okay, Cincinnati, I do like their quarterback. So when you put him up there, Kansas City, of course, Patrick Mahomes, he's having a rookie year that's out of control, and Cleveland. So as I'm naming the teams, understanding what I'm saying, the reason why Matt Ryan you can put him in that position because the other teams don't have a good quarterback. That don't mean that he's less of what he is, but if he's not competing against anything, he's always going to be top 10 by default.
I think it's flaw with the league. The league is what it is. It ain't his fault that the league got a bunch of average quarterbacks. Because guess what? I count the top 10. There are 30 teams in the league. You know, that's why most teams, and most of those 30 teams don't have good quarterbacks. And guess what? Of those 30 teams, Matt Ryan is one of the good quarterbacks. It ain't about 10 of them. I named about 7. But still you got what? Just say we with 10. That means there are 20 other quarterbacks that ain't hitting on nothing. And it ain't just their record that you can name. It's not just their record. I don't just look at their record per se, because the record a lot of times is not reflective of how good of a quarterback they are. This kid, Russell Wilson, his team isn't that good. That's 4 and 5. Russell Wilson, to me, is a pretty good quarterback. He's literally carrying that team. Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to base this team on a quarterback on, has he won a Super Bowl? I'm going to base this team on, this quarterback on, can he carry the club based on his play? You know, there's a lot of factors people use, but I'm looking at what he does for that team. Does that team have a chance with that quarterback? You look at, for example, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jaguars have a pretty good team. But guess what? Jacksonville don't have a quarterback. They're not going to do nothing. I don't think Jacksonville Jaguars are going to do anything. They got one of the best defense. And they haven't played as good defensive this year as they did last year. And as a team, they haven't played good. But if you don't have a good quarterback in this game, you don't have a chance, man.
So you know why so you mentioned Jacksonville. They don't have a good quarterback. Do you think they're happy? It's just with their quarterback, who else are they going to get? It's not like it's another few Matt Ryan sitting on the sideline not signed.
That's not my problem. I'm just happy that we have him. Because we can have an average quarterback. When I hear people like Dennis and other dummies, and I'm not saying he's dumb for saying it, but other crazy people about, well, we need to replace him. Let's put somebody else in his place.
And see, who
the hell are we gonna put? Who the hell are we gonna replace Matt Ryan with?
You're in the same street as I am right now. He's that good because there's not a lot of other good quarterbacks to get.
Well, but that ain't his fault. You can't. I'm not putting him. You keep acting like I'm putting him in the category with a Tom Brady, the top 5. Well, I'm not putting Matt Ryan in that top 5. Matt Ryan don't have the skill set. He doesn't have the numbers. He got a lot of other weaknesses. He's just not in the league with the Drew Brees.
You break your own argument up yourself. You build him up and you destroy him. I like Matt Ryan.
I like it too. Why you say I'm destroying?
Because you just said he's good, but he has so many weaknesses that make him not good.
Listen, I'm not saying it from that position. You said I went down the road. You down the road, now you're shooting me, saying that I'm defending him in his way. I feel the same way you feel about it.
Well,
But I'm just simply being real about his skill, and you demeaning his skill by saying, okay, well, there's just so many weak guys in the league. That's why he's good, because the guys are so weak. No, he's good because he has been good since he's been a Falcon. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he has some numbers that stands out.
Can I give a couple of jump in there for a second? You guys have been rolling pretty strong on it. A quarterback is only as good as his team. I mean, a team is only as good as that quarterback. I mean, it refers that. So no matter how many yards you get, if your team hadn't won a Super Bowl, if your team's not winning, because I believe if you got receivers, you got somebody to throw the ball to as a quarterback, you and your offensive coordinator need to come up with a game plan to make it happen. It's no reason that all the receivers that we got that we shouldn't be winning ball games. I'm sorry. When I watch Atlanta, let me finish. I'll let you talk. Let me give my little 2 cents, okay? When I watch Atlanta Falcons like I watched Matt Ryan last week, that's some things that Matt's not doing correctly. No matter how many times you throw the ball, if you ain't winning, it don't make a difference. You don't make the playoff, it don't matter. It don't matter. The object of the season is to go through the season, make the playoff, and win the Super Bowl, okay? We, as a quarterback, let me get my 2 cents in. I'll let you talk. I've been listening to you guys for the last 30 minutes. Let me say something, okay? Matt Ryan, like I said, I'm not slamming him. But since y'all giving him all these kudos and all the good things to do, yes, he do a lot of good things. Yes, he got a lot of yards, but his team is not winning. And Matt Ryan, there's some things that he needs to work on himself. There's some things that Matt Ryan needs to work on. Number one, on the screen pass, you don't be looking at the receiver all the way in, because the defender, the linebackers, they're watching you, looking at him, and you tipping back, and you throwing the ball, trying to get it out your hand, trying to prevent a sack, and you're underthrowing the ball, you're throwing the ball behind people. Drew Brees don't do that. And I don't care about what you need a first down, reach up the line like Drew Brees to get the first down. Run for the first down. Don't be throwing it out of bounds. Don't be afraid. You got to get that first down. That's why I give Drew Brees all the credit in the world. He's not afraid. He do that same play every time. If he's like 1 yard or less than a yard, he do. And the teams know he's going to do it, but they can't stop him.
And that's what I'm agreeing with you on.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying he's in the position he's in right now is because he knows he can't be replaced.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the hunger inside of him to be the best Matt Ryan.
He ain't got the hunger. You're right.
So it's like, who else you going to get?
Yeah.
Frank, when you look at, can you do this? And
they won't bring Sanu. Sanu, they can bring Sanu in the ball game and throw the ball deep. They did it earlier this year. They had opportunity to do it several times. They won't do it. Matt can't throw it deep.
Frank, you got numbers right in front of you. You ought to pull this up if you could. There's Frank. You know who's been three of the most winningest teams in the NFL in the last 10 years? Atlanta Falcons, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the New England Patriots. In the last 10 years.
We haven't won
a
Super Bowl yet.
In the last 10 years, the Falcons hadn't made the playoff, but missed the playoff for 2 times in 10 years.
You know what?
So you can talk about
in the last 10 years, how many times we went past the second round? We just started in the last 3 years. We just started going past the second round.
We really don't care who comes in second place.
Listen. If you,
I think it was 3 years ago. We just started winning, getting out of second place. We were always make to the first, second round and get knocked out.
Like I said before,
there were 3 teams, but you define. If you look at the last 10 years, there have been only back-to-back team won the Super Bowl is the New England Patriots. Over the last 10 years, There's been a different team in the Super Bowl every year.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you one question.
Wait. Since the Falcons was in the Super Bowl, are they trending like they're getting back in there, or are they trending like?
Yes.
Or are they trending like
last year we won 11 games. We won 11 games last year.
That's not the question. That's not my question.
Listen.
I said, are they trending like they're getting back to the Super Bowl?
Yes, they are. This year, the difference is this year is the injuries. It's the injuries. Last year we went to coming off a Super Bowl the previous year. They went last year and won 10 games in the regular season, went in the playoffs and won 1 game. They won 11 games, lost 6, lost 7, and came 1 play from making it to the NFC Championship game.
I would agree with you, but last week ball game proves that different.
And I'm telling you, listen at this. If you look at it, winning this team, you got to make the playoff before you get to start to get to the Super Bowl. Yes, if you want to say a team that hasn't won the Super Bowl,
you got to win your division first.
It doesn't matter whether you win your division or not. If you make it to the playoff, deep in the last 10 years, the only time the Atlanta Falcons hadn't made the playoff was in the 2 years when they got this guy. The last year that Mike Smith was here, we didn't make the playoff. And the next year, when we had Shanahan, we didn't make the playoff. Every year Michael Smith was here except 1 year. I think that 1 year, the Falcons made the playoff every year.
That's exactly when they had that. No disrespect, but that's the exact problem that Matt Ryan has. You know, you Falcon fans,
y'all because he keeps winning.
I didn't finish, so you don't know what I'm going to say. You guys are happy with just making the playoffs.
I'm not happy with that. No, you're wrong. You trying to beat this man up.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm saying the only weakness I say he has is he doesn't have that inner hunger to win.
Well, we understand that. We agree on that. He boo-booed in the Super Bowl. He has had a chance when they went to the NFC Championship game in the 2012 against the San Francisco 49ers, and he could have won, and they probably would have went to the Super Bowl that year against the Baltimore Ravens and lost. I get that. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. He's had 2 great opportunities to go and win. He didn't do it. I get that. If you're going to hold a quarterback against not winning the Super Bowl, you can use that on Matt Ryan. I tell a lot of people, don't forget that this love fest that they have for Cam Newton, he got there the year before Matt Ryan got there and didn't win it. If you want to measure a quarterback career and his success on winning the Super Bowl,
I'm not measuring by his quarterback career.
There are a handful of guys that have done that.
You created a narrative, and I just commented on your narrative. You talked about how many times they made the playoffs. I asked you a question: are they trending like they're going to make the Super Bowl again?
I just told you yes.
There's no way they're 4-5, and that's a good trend. That's true.
Hey, 2 years ago,
that's true.
Frank, 2 years ago, this is the team we're talking about that was in the Super Bowl. I just told you last year they won. There hasn't been, I think the numbers are so low that teams that have went to the Super Bowl and the very next year they make the playoffs. Atlanta Falcons made the playoffs last year and won their first game in the playoff against the Los Angeles Rams and could have beat Philly, but just didn't beat them for whatever reason. This team is trending in the right direction. Why? They're young. They still have youth in their quarterback who's only 31 to 33 years of age, and they have a very good bunch of collection of guys around them. They are a very good team. Their defense went from the year before to number 10 up to number 8 last year, and if they didn't have the injuries, they were projected to be the number 5 defense in the league this year. His team is trending in the right direction. And it's all because of players like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and a lot of other factors. I'm telling you, I'm not boosting them up because I'm a fan, but I'm looking at the numbers. They are the winningest team. They're on the 3 most winning teams. That means they consider a team that's winning regular season, winning at least 10 or more games average. And that don't mean they're 10 every year. Average win over a collection of 10 years, the 3 winningest teams in the NFL is the Falcons, the Steelers, and the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Over the last 10 years. Look at the numbers.
Okay. I know we talking about we actually started this conversation as a Dallas and Atlanta game, and we done got all into the next week and who gonna win the division and who got the best quarterback. I like that. And that's a good conversation. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's what the MAC is all about. But, I mean, I know it's getting late and I ain't going to hold you guys up very long, so we've been on the air a little bit over an hour now. And what I want to do is kind of wrap this thing up. And like I said, we got a big game coming up this week. And big time. Well, I'm going to give Frank the opportunity, I guess. First opportunity to tell us what he feels about this game this weekend and what do you think that Dallas is going to do. Do you think Dallas is going to win this ball game? First, I don't know if I even asked you that first.
24-17 Dallas.
20, okay. Well, what I want you to tell the people on the mic is that what do you think the Cowboys are going to have to do to beat the Falcons 24-17 or, in this ball game? And also, we want to jump a little bit. I understand. I get Bigtime downstairs. And I also want to jump a little bit on the New Orleans game. And what do you guys, your opinion on that real quick about, do the Falcons have a chance? I think you already said that you don't think they have a chance, but I think they do have a chance. But what do you think? Tell me what you think about this game coming up.
Dallas I think it's going to be a very, very good game. Like I said, everybody's back is against the wall. This is a must-win for either team. If you don't win this game, they're not making the playoffs. The NFC is so great, and I think that for the Dallas, that will put you maybe third in their division. And if in the NFC, if you're not winning the division, you have to at least be 11-6 to even go to the playoffs. So that's going to put somebody in a tough position because they're both 11-5. So I mean they're 4-5. So if they lose another game, you have to win out. I mean, because the NFC is just so stacked. Everybody's really good. So the same thing with the Cowboys. I think they got to get the ball to Zeke Elliott. I think they need to control the clock, keep Julio Jones off, double team him, and keep the ball out their offense.
Are you expecting a lot from Zeke this weekend? Or out of the two, between Zeke and Zach, who you expect to have a big ball game?
Zeke is the truth. Zeke is what makes Dallas really tick. Uh-huh. That's their identity.
Okay.
So that's why I agree with Bigtime. That's why teams are stacking the box. That's why they're having a lot of success against Dallas. They're putting 9 in the box in this one-on-one with the receivers before Amari Cooper, and it's just so successful. But, feed the beast.
Feed the beast.
That's the only.
And I can tend to agree with you on that because the performance that we put up last week, the running game was big, and if we don't make a correction in a hurry, I think Zeke might run up and down the field pretty good.
Yeah.
Big time. What you say? You feel that Atlanta will win this ball game this week. Tell the people on the mic why you think the Falcons will win this ball game, and who do you think will be the one of the main contributing factors to that?
Well, as I said earlier, the game is all about, you're right, for the Dallas, I think, is Zeke Elliott. You stop him, you stop Dallas. I see the Falcons winning this game 28-14. We're going to have a nice game. Our play will probably be better than that score. What happened to us last week was an embarrassment, and I think this team pride was placed on the pedestal, and it was knocked down, and this week we're going to come out and rise up in that stadium. It's going to be a very good game. There's going to be a lot of Dallas fans there, but I believe Atlanta will win this game going away, and Atlanta will be back on the roll again. It's going to be necessary that we win this game Sunday because when we're going down to New Orleans, if we have momentum after this game, there's a greater chance that we can win in New Orleans, but I feel good about us Sunday.
You said 28-14?
28-14 Atlanta.
28-14 Atlanta. Okay. All right. Well, give you
and don't get me wrong. I can see that.
Yeah.
If you stop Zeke Elliott, I can see Dallas struggling to score.
But I think it's going to be a high-scoring ball game. It's one of those ball games, Big Time. We talked about before. The Falcons got to score 30 points to win. I think it's going to be one of those ball games where they're going to have to score at least 30 points to win the ball game. I think Zeke's going to run down the field, and I don't think we can stop him. I mean, Tufan, what I seen from Tufan in the Alpha last week, backing up, I saw some stuff I didn't like. And I don't know if we can stop them or not because I think they're going to take a note from the book of the Cleveland Browns and do some of the same thing they did. So we didn't stop them last week, and I don't know if we can stop them this week. So I think it's going to be a close ball game. I think we'll score about 30 points. I think if we win, it's going to be a close ball game.
Why you feel down? Can I throw this one thing in?
Down.
Keep in mind that our linebacker is coming back.
Yeah.
The middle linebackers, he's going to play Sunday. So our defense is going to be crunk. We just picked up a new big time
But
linebacker.
we're not sure if he's going to play or not. They hadn't confirmed he's going to play.
He's going to play. Oh, he's going to play.
They said
he
can play, but would you I think
play.
we talked about that earlier.
He may not play a full
Is he in football
game.
condition to play? Would you put him out there now?
Oh yeah. You already looked at him. I've been watching the reviews on him. He may not play a full game, but I think his mere presence, the whole vibe with Bruce Irvin that we just signed. Bruce Irvin is a very good linebacker that the Raiders let go. He's ready to play. This team is going to be crunk on Sunday. Rise up
on people, man.
I'm gonna be in the house. I see the Falcons. There's going to be a lot of Dallas fans that we can always count on them. They're wearing the jersey, but it's going to be a put down of the Cowboys on Sunday evening.
I hear you big time. I really think the Falcons' chance of winning is through that offense. If they really want to get going, if they really want to get going, they got to get. That's what they're known for.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was getting ready to say. We got to put points on the board because I believe that Dallas is going to put points on the board
and
as
it's
well.
not just to beat the Cowboys. Let's just be serious. If you're talking about going further,
yes, yeah.
I mean, their offense has to start clicking, now and catch a wave. I think that's the only. So even if they struggle to beat the Cowboys,
right?
Like I said, I'm realistic. I don't think the Cowboys. If the Cowboys win out, I think the Saints will have their way with the Cowboys hands down.
You got to play the next week, right? I'm going to say, right? The Cowboys play the Saints the next week, right?
No.
Frank,
I think so.
Frank, Frank, I ain't trying to bust your bubbles, man, but the Cowboys are done this year.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I say it don't matter
done.
if the Cowboys win out. They're not going to beat the likes of the Saints, the Rams. I think they'll struggle with a good Cam.
Right.
But also, I think the same thing happened with the Falcons. They're just not built.
No doubt. Now, I agree with that. I do agree.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, hands down, if they, I think the Falcons have a better chance of going further than the Cowboys if their offense starts clicking.
Yeah.
They can put up points fast. That's a great receiving core.
And here's the thing.
I don't know if you've been watching
the Falcons this year, Frank.
I watch them all the time. Just for the record, big time.
Have been doing real well this year.
Big time. For the record, I watch every single Falcons game.
He watched every Falcons game, but I tell you what, on this Sunday, I watched him last time they played here. He walked out the door. They was Cowboy down.
It was Cowboy down.
Down.
He was at the game.
So,
the last time they played here had nothing to do with what would happen Sunday. But the last time, you remember, we sacked the quarterback 5 times.
Yeah,
I think it was maybe even 8 times.
He set a record.
It was a mess, man. Yeah. I just see. One thing about emotions that go a long way. In a game.
If this game was in Dallas, that ain't gonna happen this year.
If this game was in Dallas, it'll be Atlanta be in more trouble. But here you lost the way they did last week, and you gonna come in here at home in a must-win game. Ain't no way I see Atlanta losing this game. If it be a close game, we still should win this game. Ain't no way. The Falcons are, this a gut check right here. Come on now. We in our state, I don't see no way we lose this game.
You're too emotionally attached. But I get you, brother. I get you because that's your fan. I'm reality. The only way the Cowboys have a chance to win is if they got to get back to their identity. Running the ball and their defense, like I said, 6th rank. Defend them, keep everything in front of them. Get in Matt Ryan's face, make him frustrated.
Okay, my prediction. My prediction is Falcons 31, Dallas 28. The Falcons got to they got to score at least 30 points. That's how I feel. And I feel strongly that it's going to have to happen. But if they go out there and they don't put points up on the board and they start dragging around, they're going to get beat. Bottom line.
But D, I got to give you credit. You've been saying that all year.
And it's been true. And it's been true. It's been true, hasn't it?
And it's been right, too.
Yep.
You're exactly right. They got to score 30 or more to have a chance.
Yeah.
Because
we embarrassed Dallas last time they was here, and players remember this stuff. Yeah,
you definitely got it. Yeah. That's the same thing. They got you. This year is really showing. man, you got to get in the end zone, man.
Yeah, and that's going to and the same
six field goals is not doing it.
And the same thing going to have to happen against New Orleans. We got to go to New Orleans. Now that's my next point. Bring it on. That's my next point. When we go to New Orleans Saints, a lot of people say, I think you said a minute ago, you don't think the Falcons has a chance. Hey, any team can win on any given day. And hold on, let me get I'm gonna say my point first, and I'm gonna let y'all give y'all. But any team can win on any given day, and I believe truly. I've seen these guys play. This is a rival team. I know it's New Year's. It's gonna be a little tougher in New Orleans, but they can win. I don't care if they lose. If they put up a good show, I'm still happy. I'm proud of them. And we ain't going to go anywhere. But at the same time, if the Falcons can put up about 30-something points on New Orleans, they got a good chance to win that ball game.
They put 30-something points on New Orleans last time. They still lost.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying
they got to stop New Orleans from putting 54 on them. Well, that's the thing.
Hey, Frank,
54, you're right.
I agree with Franco.
Go ahead, Big Time. Give me your take on that. Go ahead.
I don't know what that score would be in the New Orleans game, but I don't see Atlanta beating New Orleans. Atlanta can't keep up with them scoring wise. Our defense will be better because we'll have this guy back, and I'm concerned about something. I think Atlanta will still win Sunday by the number I gave, but Frank just said something that I didn't know. That defense is ranked number 6. Atlanta has struggled in the past against defense that has a serious front four and ranked real high. They not the same. That's why they got to run the ball, and they got to stop Zeke Elliott, and I believe they can do it. But going back to the New Orleans game, we won't win that game. We won't win that game. I don't see us going down there.
We will not. You said won't.
We will not win that. I don't see the Falcons going to New Orleans on Thanksgiving night in a hostile crowd against a rivalry and beating New Orleans Saints the way they're playing. I just don't see it happening. I wish I'm wrong.
I agree with you.
I
think Sean Payton right now and Drew Brees, they kind of like sense their opportunity to make a Super Bowl run. I think they just signed in Brandon Marshall. They pulled the string on Des Bryant because they really see how close they are. And one more addition, if Des could have stayed healthy with them,
right.
I would have said the Rams didn't have a chance,
right?
Because Drew Brees just that, but they just got Brandon Marshall too. So I'm taking just a great coach like Sean Payton,
right,
and MVP Drew Brees, and they sensing what they have now. I think they're putting their pedal on the gas, and they're not letting anybody get in the way. And they want that home court advantage because, I mean, they don't want to go out to L.A. to play them. So every game is important right now because the best record gets home court advantage.
Exactly.
So I mean,
and it's hard. And it's hard to beat New Orleans, no matter who you are.
Oh, you burn my heart to hear you say this, but it's so true. Golly,
I think the Falcons can win, but it's going to be tough, man. It's just.
But you know, and in the back of my mind, if I was an Atlanta Falcon player, you know, it's a reality have to hit. You know, if you don't go down there, if you don't win this game, if you don't at least win this ball game, there's a very good chance these boys are going to be playing on your field, the Super Bowl, on your field. And nobody in Atlanta wants that. Everybody Big Time, nobody wants that. So I'm thinking that if I'm a player, I'm going to do everything I can to keep that from happening. I think I'm going to play above and beyond. You know, New Orleans. I think if New Orleans continue to win, I think the Saints continue to win. They're gonna come in sort of with a big head saying, "Oh, Atlanta, who?" You know,
but the Falcons don't. They don't have that in them. They don't even think that deep. Like I won't care who else comes on the Super Bowl. Who that is not gonna come on our field and play in the Super Bowl. See, that's what Atlanta Falcons just don't. I don't care if we lose every other game.
Right.
We just making sure the Saints is not. They don't have that in them.
Hey, D, what I told you yesterday, did I tell you the same thing he just said? The Falcons don't have. It starts from their head coach. They don't have that type of gut in them to say, you know what? They don't have that. That upsets me, man. They got that businessman approach with the collar and tie, and we say the right thing. You supposed to say, doggone it, we're not gonna let that happen. If we got to steal, cheat, lie, or whatever, Atlanta don't have that, man.
Right, poke you in the eye. Kick you,
I
kidnap your mother, anything.
But you know, as we came to the season, that's one of my main concerns, and we talked about that on the first show we did, our prediction show, that the Falcons. It was something about the Falcons that I didn't like. I wasn't really impressed with that preseason. I was highly upset with it because I didn't think they were going full strength, and I think my opinion is I think that's partly the reason we had so many injuries because we got players that came out there and came into the regular season that wasn't ready for game speed.
They really need to kill the preseason.
Yeah.
It's too much full contact. It's too much liability. They need to cut the preseason.
But they didn't get hurt in preseason. They got hurt in regular season because they wasn't ready for game speed.
Yeah.
I think they need to have at least 2 preseason ball games because you got to get your body prepared for game speed.
But
there's a difference between preseason speed and game speed.
But nobody was even ready week 1 and 2. You're still not ready for full strength because preseason is what it is. It's preseason.
Yeah.
If anything,
but I think Dan Quinn, they tried not to get people hurt.
Yeah,
and people wasn't conditioned and ready to go. If you notice, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, all the receivers, they went out to California and they ran and conditioned themselves. And when they came back, you're not having any problem in the receivers because they conditioned and ready to go.
But if anything, add 2 games to the season. They don't want
to the preseason.
No, to the regular season.
Yeah.
Now you can work yourself into working mode, but still things matter. Preseason just don't matter.
No, it don't matter.
So
nobody can tell you what
it's not worth. And when the football contracts is not guaranteed, the hell if I want to get hurt on preseason.
Right.
I mean, at least I'm 6 games in. I'm somewhat vested.
Right.
So I think they need to. And I'm just talking because if you're going to keep the preseason, make it something worthwhile. If you're going to keep the games, rather,
right,
kill the preseason, add 2 games, of course. But that's easy for me to say because I'm not out there, soaking in ice baths after the games.
Well, Big Time, I'm going to give you guys these last comments. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're about an hour and a half deep into the show right now. It's been a hot mic, and I know we've been having some fun. I mean, we're going to definitely have to do this again. Hopefully, we might can get a chance. The Falcons not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to say if they make the playoff, we'll go out to the sports bar somewhere and do a show. But anyway, we still going to get together again maybe next week or whenever. I know our schedule's kind of conflicting, but this is definitely fun. Like I said, the mic is hot is definitely all about speaking your opinion, and that's what we do. And I think last time we did a show, we hooked up on Facebook, and next time we might just hook up Facebook Live and going so people can actually see us on Facebook. We'll send a thing out so they can actually
dress up. Got to dress up.
Got to dress up for that? Shit, man, yeah, I agree. That way people can see, because I think last time I had people sending comments in while we were talking, and they were like, hey, man, what about this? What about that? So, it's all fun. It's all good. We ain't making no money. We're doing this because we enjoy doing it, And Frank, he's been out there a while, and, he's been doing his own thing with the podcast. And Big Time, we've been knowing each other. We've been doing it for a while as well. And so let me get some music on here. You want to close out with a closing comment, Big Time?
Well, I just said rise up, man. Rise up.
Rise
Go
up.
Falcons.
Frank, you got a closing comment for me?
How about them Cowboys?
All right.
Oh.
How about them Cowboys? Hey, the mic has been hot.
Oh.
I'm DJ Thomas. We're going to close this thing out.
Okay.
Check us out on the website at themicishot.com, Facebook, Twitter,
I'm trying to get crunk.
iTunes Radio. We're live. iTunes Radio, and we'll see you next time. I'm DJ Thomas. This is Mike is Hot, and we out.
We came to get queen, won't stop. Nope. We keep on coming cause we won't quit. That's why we keep bringing hits.
We drop in everything you pop in. From the yin yang twin begin to make your adrenaline pump right on through your skin.